Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, Indiana Farm Boy. Today we're at the North American Conservation and Drainage Expo here in Westfield, Indiana. We are going to see some brand new tile plows, some tile manufacturers. We're going to look at multiple different products. Hopefully we'll get some good interviews and stuff about these products. We also might get a snippet of a few of the speakers that are going to be here speaking, but we're going to catch you around. We're going to go take a look and get you a few shots of these beautiful pieces of equipment. All right guys, we're standing here at the Wolfe booth looking at a Wolfe new plow that they just came out with. This thing is very nice, like most of the plows are these days. A lot of this is all, they've got all the real controls all done in the cab, and it looks like there's an automatic greaser. Oh man, it shocks the crap out of you. All the equipment does, because it's on this carpet and it just shocks the hell out of you when you touch it. But it's got LED light bars in the front grille, nice coolers. You guys can see how big the shear plate is. See right there. And just massive. Massive amount of steel in these machines. I don't know what this weighs, but I'll get details on it and we'll figure out how much it weighs. Haley, what's your guess for how much it weighs?
A lot.
Weighs a lot. I'm going with, I bet it is a 75,000 pound machine.
I'm gonna one up you, and I'm gonna say 85,000.
Okay. I think she's crazy and a little high, but let's see how it goes. All right guys, we're here looking at the Hydramaxx. I'll go to the front so we can get the numbers here in a second, but let's take a journey up there. They got a big grease thing for you to grease all those, which I'm not sure. I guess you'd have to reach it from the platform. Let's see if I get shocked on this one. It's a good step right there. You got a boot cleaner, but we got up here, got our GPS mount. Easy. We got you can see the shear plates, more grease banks. Got a lot of greasing to do. This does not have an automatic greaser on it. Like I said, that's a lot of greasers that you got to haul in every day. It's easier to fill an automated greaser. I know they're more of a pain, but you still have the grease lines with a block. We got a different style shank. The feeder is like very different. Got us a nice light bar though. All right guys, so we're in the cab. We got forward, and see this is a locking, so we'll show you later, but on the Wolfe plow, this doesn't lock, and we are discussing that. But this locks forward or locks back, so you don't have to hold your controls. This is your track forward and track back, and then your side to side would be here. And then over here is all your controls for the plow. And then as you guys can see, there's multiple screens. This screen right here would be for all systems on the machine, and then here would be a mount for your trimble monitor or whatever GPS system you're using, or laser. And then we have a bunch of buttons for self-leveling, all that type of stuff. Your PSI, for how much down pressure you are pushing down with. They do have a sticker over here that shows you all of the different functions right there for the controls. You do have a big cab. I don't know if the video will show it. They also got another spot up here that has all the controls, so no matter which way you're sitting in the cab, you can see what your controls are, so that's nice. You got a door over on that side that you can go out, and then this would be like spots to store fittings, but also you could have someone sit in here with you. Might be a little rough, but not too bad. And then over here you got your crimper has a cut crimper, so it actually cuts the tile and crimps it shut, so you don't have to use plugs like you have seen us use. And then you have your heat controls, climate, headlights, all that stuff, all up here. Some other plug-ins, but all in all, I'd say it's a very simple but very neat cab. All the wires are tied up real nice. You got right here around the corner, we have a monitor for all the cameras around here. I do not see a camera in the boot, which could be added, I'm sure, but this thing, you guys can see, I can rotate from here all the way to here. So I would say that, what, 1 not 180, but you got like 130-degree rotation. So most of the time you're going to be looking either out your track front or this. The one downside I don't like is that your reel is on the other side, so you can not see your guys as much if they're down there on the ground. You also have a phone holder over here and radio, standard cab features. So we're going to get out, walk around the machine. I'm going to walk around the top here for you, and we'll walk around the outside of the machine and get you some footage of that. Tile would be coming along this front side from the reel there, and you can see out this window the track out front. So the thing I would have liked to seen was the reel over here. I'm sure I understand why they did that, because they could keep it tighter to the machine, but then it's harder to see the tile going past you, stuff like that. But if I stand up here, you can see the exhaust pipe. We'll see what's over here. Got def, air, nice big hood for the big engine, radiator, and then out the back here, all of the things you need, including the top for the reel and GPS bracket there. So then you got the feeder there, and then all your reels and stuff to get your pipe fed through from the reel to the back. So this is a Hydramaxx machine. I'm gonna get down, show you around it. So we're gonna start here on the right side, or the cab is right above us where we're just sitting. You can see under here you have air ride on the cab, so the cab should be smoother. You got these engineered air, and it looks like this side is air and that side's on like a pivot pin, so it would probably be bouncing on this end. If you look here, you can see basically the height of the machine. So the cab is where my head is, so the bottom of the cab. So just to give you guys a perspective, I'm 6 foot tall, so you're at 6 feet just to the bottom of the cab. So we walk this way, we got the screens, all that. And for the engine, this is for the hydraulic cooler, most likely, and there might be a pack stack in there, different things. We come this way, we got the Hydramaxx logo, the 3330 logo here to represent what the machine is, and we got some cable down here for pulling, so they have it welded right to the frame, just like you've seen us use before on our machines. This one attaches right here to the frame to pull off of. So we're going to go around the front and to the other side and show you the reel and the feeder. Alright, so you can see here we've got a hook point stored right here. This hooks to both sides of the frame, and then it's in this slot. And then here you can see where the reel folds up. We have a video going on here with how it shows. You can see how it's fed through this. We're going to see this on the other side, through the loop, and then here it is plowing. You can see it goes through that loop, through another loop from the reel when it's going back here to the feeder. So there you go. See, now when we go to the other side, that'll make more sense. But going from here, have big, obviously, weld on for our reel. Here is our onboard reel system, Hydramaxx design. They have, that looks adjustable to me. I don't know what, maybe to drop it down for transport, but that has the hat there on the back, and this folds up, swing around here, and be mounted on here for traveling down the road. So come on this way. Here we go. Here's a good picture for you guys, so you can see it. It's coming from here off the reel, goes under through that notch, which we'll see over here, through this, through that, back here to the tile feeder. So this feeder is pulling all that pipe from the reel. So I don't know if you can see this, guys. If you go up there, you can see there's a square for the pipe coming off the reel. This is obviously spins. They got braking system, all this, so this is all controlled from the cab. Then come this way, we got the other side of the monster engine, another cooler. Looks like your battery box is in here because it's an isolator switch. We have our feeder for the pipe to come through from the reel. As we come back the cab, Still have the track frame, fairly long track frame, I would say. Don't know what equivalent would be. It's longer than a D6, probably a D7, maybe a D8. Then we got this. This is going through here. They do have some sort of electronic control here. I'm not quite sure what that is. I don't know. This might be a pressure adjusted. And then we come this way, back here to the back. This would be a double link plow is what they would call it. So you have your bank of hydraulic valves there on the left, and then this would be your boom structure. And we come back further here to the shank. So this is what they would call the shank. These are all wear bars. That'll be a wear plate, a wear point. For certain pipe sizes you might have to put bigger on if you're getting into bigger stuff. So, and then we have our main shank, and this is adjustable. This boot also has this cool design, which I haven't seen for the first time, which is this chain attached to it to keep it straight, probably when you're backing into holes and stuff like that. And then we have the boot, like we talked about before, pretty long, looks like it has a hole cut out. We'll go around there. And then that is the main feeder. It's got a wheel with a bunch of bars. I'll see if I can reach you all the way up there. There we go. Let's go around here. Check out their boot. So they have this little rod. That's your adjustment for how far. Well, that's only chain adjust. This pushes down on the pipe as it comes out. Make sure you get in the bottom of the ditch. So I think that's all for this machine. We'll catch you on another one. We're gonna go look at some other machines.
What benefit have you found to your operation in doing this?
Man, this sounds a lot like yesterday's question. I hope we can get some better answers around here.
What?
I think it's just going to be better because the moderator's better.
Oh, okay.
In all honesty, I've had 2 different people contact me about farming their land over this deal. I mean, good or bad, that's happened. So other than that, there hasn't been a lot. Like I mean, I guess I'm not saying there's none. Like maybe you see an easier way to do something. Like I've been doing it this way forever, and I just happen to see a video that's like, well, actually that's kind of cool. It makes sense. So you can implement that into your operation some. I mean, that's just me.
I would echo that with Tony. My answer yesterday was networking, and my specific example was I actually had called Tony early on in the days of TikTok before he blew up, you know, and was just little growing corn.
He was approachable.
And yeah, it would actually take time to talk to me. No, but like farming has gotten so I don't know. It's like you don't talk to your neighbors anymore, it seems like. And it was way easier to talk to Tony and bounce ideas off of him. And it's just that network, that coffee shop, that bar network that feels like we don't have anymore.
All right, guys, we're up here. Bron machine. It is a cantilever design, so we'll get out and check that out in a minute. But you got a PSI gauge right here for something. You got a seat lock, and so you can actually lock yourself here, and got some thermal stuff. I don't know what's in this panel, but you got a buddy seat there. This would be adjustment for like your tilt side to side. This has actual tilting on it, and then Bron has all of your panel here. So heating, cooling, pretty much all the stuff you need. Now this is a little bit different than those other designs. This is called a 2-stick. So you actually click these sticks in, and then they go wherever you want and stay. So if you want to turn, you would do that. Keep them separate. So, and then you have different designs and stuff like that. And there's even seat heater. That's what I'm talking about. Now they think about us contractors. We'd be suffering up here while the workers are out there. You know how it is. I'm sure Dad wouldn't approve. Then you have your cutters for your boot cutter right there and stuff like that. And then you got all your controls. These little tiny joysticks control all the plow stuff and your travel speed lever. This would affect how fast of travel, kind of like rabbit and turtle in a other machine. So this is the view. Now this thing has a seat lock, which I'm sure you could disable, but it's kind of nice because this allows you to go to like basically three stops, depending on how you want to sit in the machine. And yeah, I don't know, I like it, but I think I would prefer not to sometimes. But This has a tile right there. You see right there, that is a tile extender. Basically, it helps pull the tile from the front back, like it helps it pull back to the boot, since it's got to go so far, the pipe does. And then right over there, you got an extra ladder there for guys to climb up to help get it through that there. So this is the cab. It is very nicely built. Your key goes in right there. I don't know, I'll have to ask them whether they're going to go to the other style that we saw in the other plows, to like the dozer style. But yeah, so this is a heck of a machine. When we get out, you'll see the size. I mean, it is a big old beast. They got the US flag on there. These are built in Canada, so questionable. But so is Wolfe. A lot of these plows are built not in the US. Hydramaxx, I think, would be the only one truly built in the US. So, chrome stack. We got to have a chrome stack. Even with emissions these days, got to have the chrome stack. It's a requirement. So, yeah, very nice up here. You can see this. I'm gonna get down, walk around. This customer, I guess, didn't want a ladder to get in and out, so I pretty much got to jump down. Well, step down, but it's a large step. So I'm gonna get down and show you around. All right, guys, I am standing here at the Mid-America Trenchers booth. We're looking at a Link 430 plow. I think it's one of their new plows that they just came out with. We're here along the, I guess I would call this, what, the passenger side of the plow, the other side of the cab, basically. This, I didn't see an onboard reel, but we'll go around the other side. But you can see right here we got track frame.
Pretty large track frame.
Pretty long track frame, I would say. Got all your engine, hydraulic coolers, a nice big platform though. I think this is the biggest platform on a machine we've seen today. If we come back here to where what actually matters, we have their new Link. It says Link 175 because it's their new design of the Link. And you can see, look at the hunk of steel right there. Look how thick the steel is that holds the plow on here. And then what's interesting to me compared to any other plow is if we look here at our shank, our main shank, look how thin the shank is. It's thick steel, but it's very narrow compared to other plow designs, which you'll see in other spots of this video. Like the shank is very narrow, and then you have a tooth with your breaker there, and then if we have a boot connector, it looks like it has three pin connectors down here. And then if we look up, we have a cylinder that raises and lowers the GPS arm, and this has a slide like most of these pins back here. You come around the TV there. These right here, these actually go into locking pins up through there. So this is an adjustable shank, so you can actually adjust the height of where this grabs the shank. If we come back here to the boot, I do kind of like this. They have actual stairs on the boot for you to get up and down. They have a different type of tile feeder, I would call it. They actually have like an air tire wheel that grabs it and pushes it in. And then we have a same as other designs you saw in the bottom of the boot there. We have a pusher, basically pushes down that tile to the bottom. So let's go here to my cab, check it out. It comes tractor, plow, and all right. Well, we got an extra buddy seat in here. Real nice buddy seat. Ooh, wow. Okay, so yeah. So up there you can see there is a trimble for the front. And then we got cameras all around here. Up here, those look like the Dakota Micro cameras. We got our layouts for all of our basically about the machine here, and then auxiliaries for doing things like buttons, and then USB plug-in, got your radio, stuff like that, heat there. And then up here where this plug-in is right here with an Ethernet cable, and right there is for your monitor. So your monitor would be right there. Looks like it has a mic in here for picking up phone calls. This must be a Bluetooth radio, it is. So you should be able to call people off of it. And then they have extra ports down in front of you, so you can see really well over here. Nice space here to turn the corner and shut the door. Cup holder, some outlets, and then master pipe layer Randy. Looks like he's been here in this machine. So, and then we have an extra air seat there. And then we got tanks out there. I'll go out there in a second. But this is a stick drive. So it's just one stick. You have a back button so you can't accidentally, oh, I guess it won't, it doesn't hold it. And then this is your steering, probably press each button, I don't know for sure. Then this side, this shaped grip, I guess you want to call it, here for running all of the functions on that. And then let's take you out on the platform. This thing has platforms everywhere, so you can see right through there. And then they got exhaust, and then some of your coolers on top, the fan blowing down or up. And then this is your hydraulic tank. So a lot of hydraulic oil in this machine. We got some nice lighting around. Just all in all, a pretty nice machine. It's got big platforms, and then your fuel tank. All right, guys. Well, we went from the plow over there to the wheel machine, and this one's very different. So we've got all our cameras, our level up there, and back here you can see the workhorse. We'll look outside, but I mean, look at all the controls for this thing. You got speed up, RPM, engine RPM, your conveyors, your winch, your dig wheel, and your traction, I'm not really sure. I don't know wheel machines, guys, to forgive me. I don't know wheel machines good enough to like give you as in-depth. Very similar layout for the extra plugs there and power. You would have your monitor back here, because most of the time you're going to be looking back here. You're going to be looking up there to drive a little bit. It has a spot for another trimble up there to keep you on auto guidance. You have a steering wheel and a pedal down here, and then yeah, you have this, and then you have all of this. So a little bit of management. We'll take you around the outside, check out this wheel machine, and go from there. All right, guys, we're sitting out here at the wheel machine. You can see right here, that's a trencher version of this. This is a 7340. Gosh, I got it out. You know, struggling here, guys. But you guys can see nice tires. They're basically, I'd say it's what, as tall as the Bell tires?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit shorter, but pretty close to what the Bell is. And then we have some counterweights up here with a winch. Look at these big hunks of steel. We got a winch in here. Can't quite see. And then they got multiple colors, you can see. Here's one that's all painted up. But you can see the big wheel. That's why they call them wheel machines. We got the wheel right here. This is going this way and digging and dumping the dirt here on the conveyor. And then your boot out the back. So that's basically, it's making a big circle, cutting the material, and this boot is laying that pipe in, which we're gonna look right over here to see a big 24-inch boot, stick boot. And then there's these little cutters back here in the back that pull the dirt back in. But we all know it looks cool in photos, but it looks better in person. So, I mean, look at that. That's a big hook. And you got an air cleaner up there, out of hopefully the dust and the dirt. And you got your entrance from this side. Looks like you got DEF right here, so easy to fill the DEF tank. You got disconnects, diesel fuel, all right here, and looks like a holder here to help hold your help hold your thing when you're fueling, because you know they drink a lot of fuel. And then we work our way back here, and you can see where there is a heck of a lot of hydraulic hoses that go to this thing. There's a lot of hydraulic power that this thing needs to run these digging boots. And then this is called would be your mast. I think that's what they would call this. And this is what the actual frame of the ride's in. Then you got a cylinder that lifts it with cables. So, and then you look right here. We got just a lot of moving parts, a lot of maintenance. That's why a lot of people plow as much as they can, because of the maintenance factor on these machines. Not only do they cost close to what a plow costs, if not more, there are also a lot of maintenance intensity. So I think that's as much as we got on this machine, guys. Just to give you guys an idea, check out that beast of a boot. Look how wide and big that spoon is. It even has its own, this is all a support for forks to pick it up and chain it down, because the boot's so big. And look at that, 24-inch pipe looks small in it. That's a heck of a boot, guys. All right, guys, we're here at the Wolfe booth, and I'm standing here with Paul and Colton, right? Colin. Sorry, I apologize, Colin. And we're standing here in front of a nice brand new machine, like we all would like to own. So they're going to give us a few details about some upgrades. I think this has some new stuff that you guys haven't had on a machine before, and we're just going to kind of run through it, and I'm going to kind of hand it to them, let them explain to you guys about the machine. I'm just going to step over here to the side here, and I assume you're going to talk about your beautiful boot.
Yeah, so what we have here, guys, is what we call our next gen parallel link 540 machine. We really took a different approach for how we were thinking about where the machine should go in the future. Our understanding is that our contractors struggle to find, labor, and they suffer from manual operations. So we wanted to look at what can we do on the machine to automate manual functions to start to alleviate that pain. A couple of the other focuses we had have to do with the efficiency of how the mole pulls through the ground. In different soil conditions, people are going to experience different capabilities. So we want to look at how do we optimize the geometry of the mole and the mole design to have less stress on the machine, the frame, and reduce some of the input costs operators might see with fuel consumption and other wear parts that might end up being abused due to excess forces on the mole. The last thing we were really focusing on is a control system and having something that is industry standard, where it's easy to cross-train operators that are used to dozers and excavators, where you can take an operator that's experienced with that and move them into a machine, and there's a relatively low learning curve for them to overcome to operate this.
Okay, that makes sense from the control scheme. It feels like a dozer up there. Obviously you have all the extra push buttons, but everybody has to learn that running a plow versus you can't get rid of that.
Exactly.
But
there's always been a learning curve there.
People will feel more comfortable immediately when they sit in the
there's
seat.
a different feel to it.
Okay.
So maybe what we can do is we can start with what we've done on the back end here first. So for optimizing the mole geometry, we worked with the local university, and they helped us understand in different soil conditions what are the forces that we're going to experience on the mole, and how should it actually flow through those different soil conditions. So what we've come up with is actually pitching the point back to reduce the amount of heave that's underneath the track here. Moving that heave back some helps more evenly distribute the pressure across the entire frame rail of the machine.
And on this one here, Paul, on the update, I think we moved it back, what, 30 inches or so?
Correct.
30 inches back from where it was before.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, we've also added a larger shark fin here, so there's less flat area where the mole is cutting through the ground, and added these side plates that go up the length of the mole.
Are you thinking this is going to save on horsepower requirements or anything?
Like everything here, it's all being drugged to the ground.
Yeah.
So this is going to help fracture that ground, so you don't have a flat surface trying to break that ground.
Okay.
So you're going to see some benefits here. Really, with our side plates and them moving up, you're going to see benefits with reducing the soil that's hitting the front of the chute.
Okay.
So you have less
and you're going to have less time before you have to rebuild your
exactly.
Because of ground wear.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those three things in conjunction with one another, we've seen increases of pulling efficiency up to 20%.
Okay.
So it's been quite substantial. We have some customers that we've done retrofit kits for that are pulling in 15-inch flex, 6.5 feet deep, not having to hook on anymore. And before that, see that in the Plow.
Okay.
So it's been a big improvement on the machine specifically.
Okay.
With what the capability is of the Plow.
Okay, now I have a question for you that we haven't really talked about, but on the
Sure.
parallel link,
Yep.
one cylinder. I don't know how much often I've seen the one cylinder like that, and I don't know if you guys have had that before, if that's still the same linkage
Yep.
design, but it just looks off to me because I haven't seen
Sure.
one with a single cylinder like.
Yep.
I mean, it's a big cylinder. Don't get me wrong. I
Yep.
just was curious if that's a design change or a philosophy change or
Yep.
where you were on that.
Yeah, so with the ones, we've gone to a one larger cylinder
Okay.
here, and then we've gone to two for our grade,
Yep.
and then two larger cylinders for the attitude for your pitch control.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's, you're gonna have more ability to pull through the ground in harder conditions with that larger cylinder.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just thinking that the one is gonna equal the two and maybe even exceed because you just are getting flow to it faster
It's
and.
just a larger, stronger cylinder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we want to take a tour up to the cab?
Yeah, if you want to hop up there.
Okay. So, what he was talking about with dozer controls, I mean, you get in here, it looks just like a dozer on both sides here. And then we went to talk about the buttons here. I will say something from before I've been in here, no labeling on the buttons. I brought that up.
Yep.
I'm sure that you guys are going to change that, but, and maybe not because we can see it on here. But I feel like when I get in here, I'm like, ooh, man, no labeling on buttons.
Right.
Thing for me. So
Yeah, so what we have, you're right, there isn't any labeling at the moment. We can put labels on here.
Okay.
With these controls, you will have the option to have some customization abilities for different operators.
Okay.
In terms of what their preference is going to be.
Okay.
Being that this is a prototype, we did keep it
Simple.
simple for
Okay.
now, while we determine what is the best layout for our customers. And because it is such a drastic change from what we had before, that's why we didn't have anything specific yet. Once we have that feedback, okay, these should be standard, they should always go here, then we can look at actually having dedicated buttons in certain areas with labels and pictures.
Well, and to be honest, you know, a lot of everybody, which this is the first machine really without a flip switches
Right.
for everything.
Yep.
Because I mean that's what everybody's used. I mean you have
Yep.
just, and you guys have been in other machines. I mean just
The rocker
rows
switches
of
and-
rocker switches. So if these are going to be customizable electronically, I could see we're not having labels, and then you're able to set it in the screen. And then maybe the best thing is to have one screen monitor that shows all your buttons and what they are currently selected to.
Yep.
So that way when you, which I think you had up there
Yeah,
a
correct.
second ago, but so you can see, so when you're in here plowing and you're like, man, you're first learning the machine, you're learning your setup, you can be like, oh man, is this how I turn my feeder off?
Right.
Click this button.
Yep.
And then that might help people learn, but you not have to have labels on the buttons so
Yep.
that people can customize what they want there.
Right.
But so I get it both ways because
Yep.
it's like, man, I got in here and I'm like, man, there's no labels
Yeah.
on anything.
Yep. Yep.
So
that's where we're headed. You know, that
Okay.
will come in the future. But as we're prototyping, we want to figure out what should be where first.
okay. Now the computer here.
Yeah, correct. So
I want to get some explanation on this because I see a RAM mount for maybe my Trimble monitor to sit,
Correct.
but there's not really a lot of space here.
Yep.
I just what's your thought process on what we're going to do there?
Yes.
Or
So as a part of what we've been doing with Next Gen, we want to take a look at the controls and the functionality in the screen.
okay.
For our GPS integrators, we've never truly been plug and play. So we're moving to a plug and play system where
Okay.
everything will come pre-wired.
Okay.
If you run Trimble, there'll be a harness that you'll be able to plug in,
Okay.
integrate your Trimble system.
Okay.
If you're going to be running a GPS, same type of thing, different wiring harness that'll integrate with the GPS
Okay.
system.
Oh wow, that'll be awesome.
So it's truly going to be plug and play, and that's where that
Yeah.
that
a
screen
GP, yeah.
is. So
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm just, my brain wasn't catching on to that because I
Yep.
was thinking, oh, no Trimble monitor. Oh, a GPS. Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense.
Yep.
So I apologize about that. But I was just asking about that. So yeah. But I mean, if you had Trimble monitors in here and you wanted to have two different monitors, I mean, you got plenty of space that you can fit two Trimble monitors in here easy.
Yep.
So that's nice.
Yep. And shifting from there, where we want to go is, if we do need to support customers in the field, with this new system, we are going to have a telematics unit installed so that we can do remote connectivity. We'll be able to go and do over-air program updates, troubleshooting and diagnostics, set new parameters if people want, certain controls customized. It's just going to allow us to be closer and more sensitive to the customer so that we can respond.
Now, will the dealers be able to access that?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So it will be a dealer. You can call my sales guy and he will be able to get me somebody quickly.
Correct.
Faster than before where we have to wait. Somebody has to come and
it'll help us with the diagnostic side and being able to understand what the problem really is so we can come out, in cases and be prepared with what we need to do service-wise.
And not only that, I mean, it's going to be hooked to your dealers, but it's also going to be hooked to the factory. And ultimately, the factory, they're the ones that built this machine, so they're gonna be the ones heavily involved with this as well. So you've got two lines of defense to help you out.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, so we talked about our manual processes, and one of the things that we found a lot with our customers is when they're changing over rolls, they've got to fold down the table base, they've got to then fold down the stringer, take the top hat off, punch in the roll, put that top hat back on, fold this back up. We want to try to reduce the actual effort it is to do that. So we've added an electric actuator on the top in here, and you'll be able to control that from the seat and from the remote box here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, for folding this down, you have to do that every time you're picking up a roll. You got to fold this down. Okay, so it's not tall enough that it can bend far enough. Okay.
Yeah, that's why only this portion of it folds down.
Well, I guess if you're picking them up off the ground, you're not having them put on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, some guys will put them on too. They have the holders and spear them on.
Well, we have a spear. We just run the spear
alongside
that.
Yep.
Because we have 18-inch dual wall, so you can get both in the same. You can put it halfway on and then pick up at the end and push it all the way on. So, but this is nice that it can fold all the way down, pick it up right off the ground.
Yep.
So, I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if we look here, this is the most important feature that I've learned that I love the most as being someone that's usually on the ground and not in that cab. These buttons being right here for me to, as I shock myself, for me to do stuff when I'm here, because sometimes they're not paying attention, they're looking on GPS or doing whatever the heck because the operator's got other things to do. But as a ground screw guy, the closer this is to making my life easy, because most of the time you're going to be here cutting strings, whatever, after they fold it up, you can come right here, press brake on and off, flow it through if they ran it out or whatever you need to do. So that's super nice to have that so close, and labels on these ones, so we're good there. So, well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for the interview. Thank you
for coming.
Yeah, and we'll catch you guys later. All right, guys, we're just here wrapping up the NACADE event up here in Indy. We had a fantastic time, meet a lot of great people, and looked at some really cool products. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more fantastic content.